Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hiya.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 5 of Once Upon a Captain Swan.
Woo!
Yay!
Five. Woohoo.
So with me today, there's myself, Sarah. We have Lindsay,
Hello.
Rachel,
Hi.
Gabrielle,
Hey.
JMO, and Kimberly.
Hi.
So today we're doing a part 2 discussion of what we did last week. We're continuing our Captain Swan Appreciation Week. And we're going to focus today on underrated moments, which we're going to get to in a little bit. And we also want to talk about what Captain Swan means to us and how it's impacted our lives. So who has some thoughts about how Captain Swan's affected your life?
Well, today is National Friendship Day. So we're also meeting you guys. Well, not meeting you, but, chatting with you guys.
We will meet you soon, Lindsay.
It's going to happen.
One of these days.
And, I've been part of the fandom for a few years now, and I'm always meeting new people. It's lovely. And also the ship itself. I mean, they've gone through so much, but they still have this hope and this love. They're still fighting for their love. And that's really inspirational in a world that can sometimes feel really bleak.
It's just great.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definite a light in the dark. When I first started watching the show, thanks to JMO, I was all the way in Vermont. I was by myself. It was just very, very lonely, and it was just like this little bright, shining moment where I could get together with her and talk about the show, even though she's in the middle of the country and I was in New England. And meeting all of you ladies, I think we're all going to echo that sentiment. We're actually getting a little emotional about this right now. So I'm going to do myself right now. But I think it means so much that it's not just a show. It's a family, right? Like, we're a family all together, and I think we always will have each other's back. And that's really what, Captain Swan means to me, is just having each other's back and being together.
Yes.
I love that I found people that I can connect with that we can send each other text messages of just a simple photo, and it just makes our day, Yeah. Like, you can't do that necessarily with, your regular at-home friends, It's
They wouldn't understand.
Yeah, it's something, like, we just all have this one thing that we are so passionate and love so much, and so we can have those little moments each day where we just get to smile really big because you get that text message from someone, and you can share your joy in the same, something as simple as, like, a filming spoiler or, like, a photo. Yeah. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, like, when I first started watching the show, I did not expect it to take over my life like it did. And then I say that in, like, a good way, because, like you all said, I got to meet so many people just from this fandom alone, and which I think is such a cool thing nowadays, that, like, because if you think about it, like, way before that, and you would sit at home, like, before social media and everything, you just sit at home, and you just obsess over your stuff, and you just would quietly sit there, like, you didn't have this type of community and family type aspect to really bring everyone together like this. So it's just something that I think is really special.
Yeah, I guess besides all the friendships, I really think I can relate to Emma. I think a lot of people can relate to her.
Yeah.
She's very relatable. The way she feels, her emotions, her walls, all that. And we all want, like, a Killian or a Colin, but,
I'll take
it. So I think and I've never been obsessed with a couple before, like this obsessed with it, so it's definitely means a lot to me.
Yeah, because normally you have, like, your favourite character, but to actually, like, be so passionate about a ship, that's really beautiful, because, whilst we do all think, we'd love to have our own Killian, we also so happy for Emma that she's got this happiness, and we're rooting for it all the way, and
definitely really rooting for her. Yeah.
I echo all of your sentiments about friendships, because I never imagined meeting so many people just through watching a TV show and being able to develop those friendships over time. And it's just become a huge sisterhood for me. And when I first got on Tumblr, it was in October, and I was like, I've never done Tumblr before. This was I got on it because of Once Upon a Time and Captain Swan. But over time, it made me realize there was a part of my life that was missing, and it was my writing. I hadn't written anything for almost 4 years, and it took Emma and Killian to get me my inspiration back. And I don't think I could ever repay Colin or Jen for doing that for me. And sorry, I'm getting a little emotional right now.
Oh, J-Mo.
It's okay.
I love you.
And I met so many people who appreciate what I'm doing, and for that to be a part of my life now is just incredible. And like Sarah said, meeting you guys it's
amazing.
I
It really
love
is.
you guys.
Thank you
J-Mo.
It's true though. I mean, when I initially was planning my trip abroad, to go to Fairy Tales, it's like, wow, I'm totally gonna have to do this by myself. It's gonna be really hard.
Yes.
And then to get, to find Gabrielle, to find you and Jenna on a Facebook group of all things, and Stephanie as well. Stephanie, of course, is not part of this, but she's another one of my friends that I was able to meet online. And then to meet all you guys in person and just click so instantly, and it's like I feel like you guys have been my friends since forever.
Yes.
So
definitely.
it's all because of a TV show. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about just how close I feel to some of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's so important.
Yeah,
like
my
Jenna,
one true friends.
yeah, exactly. Like,
one true loves, man. You were my one true friends.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
I just hope that, Adam and Eddie get so much hate online and just in general, and I just hope that I get the opportunity someday to tell them how much this show has meant to me. It's in just creating these friendships, like I hope they realize that their show has done this for people all over the world.
Yes, I completely agree. We actually got a Tumblr response to this specific question from Pocket Anon, and this is what she said. What CS means to me. CS is wonderful and amazing and the OTP to end all OTPs, just by the nature of their storyline and their chemistry, both SCS and in real life that exists between Jen and Colin. But the thing that makes CS shipping different for me is the existence of the fandom. I've privately shipped a lot of different couples, but this is the first online fandom I've ever engaged in. And It's been a great experience to get to chat with lovely people online who are warm and talented and share a common obsession. There's something very refreshing about that kind of relationship, that we can come from all different backgrounds and be so different and yet be drawn together and share positive relationships over this one simple thing without the complications of social politics. In addition, while I've been writing fics privately for years, this is the first time I've been brave enough to release any out for public consumption, and the positive feedback I've received have helped me to finally identify myself formally as a writer. Not that I expect anything substantial to come of my writing, but it's altered my perception of my own identity, and I can't tell you how wonderful it has been to find out that I can make people happy with what I love to do. That's what CS and the fandom means to me.
Wow. That was beautiful.
That's great. Yeah.
Definitely.
Everything that person said was exactly spot on.
Yeah.
Absolute perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And I love her writing so much as well. I've actually read a recommendation in an earlier episode. I'm a huge fan. I was like, this is brilliant.
Oh man. And I completely agree with what she said about my writing. I was so nervous to actually do it. But I told myself, just go ahead, get it out there. And just the response has been amazing. I'm not like way high up in the fandom or anything, but just I got a fair share of people who love my stuff and who look forward to it coming out. So that's what makes me happy.
Well, and as someone who is slowly working my way into that realm, it's nice to know that while I definitely don't have as many notes as JMO does, I have never once been flamed. I have never once had anyone come after me and say anything super negative. So I think that just really speaks to who we are as a fandom, and that, oh, hey, she's new. Oh, I'll give her a little like. That'll make her feel really good. Like, the minute I get like a like, I'm like, oh my god, somebody actually read my stuff, and it's like, whether it had a comment or not, it's just so nice that we embrace and encourage each other, even if it's just that little, oh, that's kind of cute. Like, here's a little heart. Like, it's like getting a gold star in school, right? Like, so I think we support each other as artists as well, and so it's nice as someone who is a baby writer trying to get into that world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This fandom is so freaking talented.
Yes.
Whether you've been doing it for a long time or you're just starting out, make sure that you let those people know how much they are appreciated, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Can't argue with that.
So this week, we're going to be talking about underrated moments, or the moments that we wanted in our top 10 last week, but didn't necessarily have the room for.
Because we only had 10.
And 10, as we know, is too small of a number.
Yes.
Because we love all of them equally.
So
Yes.
we had a lot of listeners give us some of their favorite underrated moments, and we're going to go through some of those. So I got a few from the handle on Twitter is Lenny UK Pirate 1. And some of their favorite moments were the parallel with snowing between Snowing and Captain Swan when the curse takes over with Snowing in season 1, and then that parallels to season 5 when Emma's and Hook cast the curse. And she says to him, when you wake up, you'll be the man you were, the man I love, the man who loves me. That was such a really good parallel between the two.
What?
There's so many Snowing and Captain Swan parallels. Like, every time I see them, I'm just like, oh, yes.
But even the way it was shot, it was almost like exactly the same camera angle.
Right?
With the curse coming behind them. Like, I just thought that was so powerful.
It was.
True love couple.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So another moment they said was Emma's line where she says, Hook, I will find you, I will always find you.
Ooh.
Another great
Another
snowing parallel.
parallel. Yes.
That was in my top 10.
Classic.
So another moment they listed was the look that they give each other when they're in the hospital with Neil, which I also am a fan of. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
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 It's a very tiny, like, blink if you miss it moment where Neil's in the hospital bed and they kind of, Emma and Killian kind of both glance at each other. And there was definitely, like, some tension in that look.
They don't make
Some
eyes,
angst.
Sarah. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's the thing, that's how it started, all those yearning looks, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your name looks
they could just look at each other and know what they were like was feeling and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one from Lenny is the scene from season 5 where he's giving her the ring and he says that Emma's not immortal, bring her home to me.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That scene was beautiful.
That whole
Yes.
scene, yes. Mm-hmm.
I remember the sneak peek and just rewatch. I was meant to meet my friend, but I kept going to the bathroom to rewatch the scene on my phone, so I was just freaking out so much.
I kept watching it during my work break when it came out. I was like, Leanne, really? This is the
I
scene
watched
you want
it at
to
work
show
too. And my boss comes over and he's like, Sarah, you're smiling. Because I guess I've never smiled at work before. And I was like, oh, it's just my OTP being cute.
And he's like, "What's an OTP?"
Right?
He's like, well, he knows because I already told him that I can't work Sunday nights ever because of my show. So he was aware, but he's just like, oh, is this like a Once Upon a Time thing?
Yeah.
It is.
That's amazing that your boss is like, okay.
Yeah,
I will not get between you and your fandom.
No, he knows better.
I have Sundays and Mondays blocked off for that reason.
All right, so another listener moment we got is from Jess. Our handle is fangirl1379 on Twitter. And her two favorites were when they're releasing the fairies from the hat, and it's that beautiful scene where they're holding hands, but like Killian is braced in, like shown in like a dark light, and Emma's in like this total like glow light.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really interesting. Like they're showing it's almost like they're kind of giving you an inside glimpse as to what might happen with like the light and the dark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Probably wasn't intentional, but
Yeah.
I just think it's a nice little tidbit.
It was intentionally unintentional.
Yeah.
Yes. I liked how they were holding each other like throughout the whole thing as well. 'Cause, like support, like Emma was supporting him. So that was really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then her other moment is after Emma is released from the ice wall and they're in Mary Margaret's apartment, kind of cuddling by the heater.
The
He
first
didn't take
time
his
we
eyes off
see-
him.
The first time we see their hands like intertwine, And I'm
Yes.
just like,
That entire episode was just like,
It was huge.
yeah.
Honestly, huge.
Huge.
Like, the first hug and the first, like, kind of hand holding, like, it was really significant.
the way she grasped the back of his head when they
Yeah.
were hugging.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And
I
how
picked
rewatched
her
that
up.
episode so many times. It was
Yeah.
insane.
And just Shade, just kept like in the apartment. He just didn't take his eyes off her. You know, he was running around like getting a like didn't even know what it was. Well, he didn't know what it was, but like it's all everything's still foreign to him. But he's still willing to go the extra mile to try and help her. And he was just like he's the kind of boyfriend you need, really. Isn't
Right.
it? You know?
So attentive.
And also that there was no hesitation as far as, like, embracing like that in front of her parents and Henry,
Right.
you know? Like, it was just all right out there in the open.
Like
Like how
when she
David
first-
like thrust her into his arms.
Yes.
Yeah.
David
And then he
shoots
picked
it.
her up.
Yes,
Oh my
that was
God.
the whole.
It was such a beautiful episode.
It was.
Really was.
So beautiful.
I think that was also a moment when David really realized how much Killian cared for her,
Yeah.
because that was the first time we really saw him like distraught openly over her well-being like that. So, and David saw it. So
We had that massive Captain Charming moment at the beginning of that
Yeah.
one,
Mm-hmm.
asking
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
what are your intentions, and it's like whatever we become, it's up to her as much as me.
yeah,
So
Perfect boyfriend
That's
again.
huge.
I mean,
that was huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So Elise, her handle is Elise Smith 2012. One of her favorite underrated moments is at the beginning of 412 when we get that nice little montage of how 6 weeks have passed and everything's kind of normal in Storybrooke. And Emma kind of shows up at her bug where Hook's standing there waiting for her with coffee.
That
And
was actually on my top 10 list. It was on my list.
they have that little kiss and then they walk arm in arm through the streets of Storybrooke, which I think is
Yeah.
perfect.
And he kisses her forehead at the end. Oh.
I mean, it was like the 6 weeks of happiness, you know, the bliss and everything, and
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell that Killian made her happy, and it's all good. Until, again, Rumpel
Captain
came to ruin it.
We don't say his name, Lindsay. We don't say
he
his
Sorry.
name.
who shall not be named.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Put my
Wow.
still love
We have a he and a she who shall not be named.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh.
So we had Hajit, her handle is Hajit the Queen on Twitter. She asked us why we didn't have anything from Birth on our top 10. And I was like, you're right. We didn't.
did.
And that's my
And-
favorite episode too. I don't know why.
Honestly, it is one of my favorite episodes. And my reasoning is that it was too painful of an episode
It really
Yeah.
to
was.
revisit.
It was
I'm-
so.
Yeah.
I had the Promethean flame on mine, so that was from Birth.
Okay.
And I had the Promethean flame on mine too. So
And in case anyone else was wondering about why we neglected that episode, the reason being is, in the future, we're going to do a rewatch of it, and we're going to talk about it hardcore, in depth.
Mhm.
Yes.
So all the feels, all the
Are going to
emotions
happen.
We'll be
are
rehashed.
going to happen. So you will definitely hear us talk about everything Birth, and that will happen in the future. So stay tuned.
Yes.
Yes.
Too many good things to talk about in that episode.
They're very
Yeah, where
much
do you
so.
start on that? You have to
I know,
switch
it's like
episode.
the entire 42 minutes are just worth
Yeah.
talking about. So
It's
Beautiful episode. It's just
so
beautiful.
brilliant. So
Yeah.
brilliant.
Rollercoaster
honestly,
emotions.
like it is tied with as my favorite with the Captain Swan movie from season 3.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
It's very hard to pick between the two, but they're definitely neck and neck.
Yeah.
So those are all the Twitter responses we have. I have 2 emails that we got.
Okay.
One is from Joy.
Yeah. What's
I-
up,
Joy!
What's up,
Joy?
Joy?
How
Yeah.
you doing, bro?
Yeah, we love you, Joy, because
Yes.
your responses and your feedback are just amazing.
Yeah. Keep doing what you do.
Yeah.
So, he sent us 5 of his favorite underrated moments, and I'm gonna just read them word for word because I just love everything that he has to say about everything. Also, he's definitely in favor of a Captain Charming episode, so
Yes.
It's gonna happen.
Hells yes.
Need more
It's going to
feedback
happen.
on that.
Okay, so season 4, episode 16, where jealous Killian and Emma assuring him that August was just a good friend and nothing more. It made me realize how deeply Emma is invested in this relationship. Her walls were coming down, and the writers portrayed it in such a subtle way. I loved it. Plus, it was such an adorable scene when they both fell asleep under the spell. Emma rested her head on Killian's chest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, also, I love that scene too. I just watched that the other day. I love jealous Killian. I think it's cute.
It is. He's like a little puppy when he gets jealous.
Yes.
I know you're partial to men in leather jackets. True.
And Emma just like looks so amused. She's like you're like the cutest ever.
Like, he's like a brother.
So, another moment is from season 3, episode 12, when Killian tries to convince Emma to take the memory potion, and Emma is still skeptical about it and says that this is her life now. So this is the New York episode.
Yeah.
The look on Killian's face when Emma says there is no one out there for her back in Storybrooke was heartbreaking. When he said, perhaps there's someone there who loves you, I lost it and started bawling like a baby, and I'm a grown-ass man.
That's so sweet.
Okay, so another moment he has is from season 4, episode 13. The scene inside the sheriff's station where Emma says, I choose to see the best in you, and Killian saying, I don't intend to let you down. It showed the tremendous amount of faith from Emma's point of view and on Killian's. It shows how deeply she trusts him. No matter what his past deed was, she was willing to move past it. It was a huge step in their relationship at that point. Agreed.
Yeah.
That was a really important scene.
It really was.
Despite Mary Margaret and David kind of watching.
Damn it.
Shadows.
Creeping.
Want to see that kiss, man?
Mom and Dad, stop creeping.
We're getting like psyched up for it, and then no.
No, crap!
But
I made noise. They caught
I
us.
love that because, Emma was basically like, look, I know something went down with Ursula, but I'm going to let you tell me on your own time. Like,
Yes.
that was huge.
I'm not gonna
Love
try
that.
to force it out of you.
Yeah, because like Emma in the past, she's always been like wanting to like jump to conclusions at times, hasn't she? Really, and now she's like, well, this guy's worth it. I'm gonna put that out there.
And it's almost like she could sense that he carried so much guilt around for whatever went down. So it's almost like she was just waiting for him to kind of deal with that himself before he revealed everything. Such a good scene.
It was.
And this, I know I keep saying it, but the way I just love the way they look at each other. Like it's just so.
Yeah.
I
like
could
it
go
too.
about it all day.
I mean, let's be real here. Every scene is an amazing scene between them.
But I like that part because it's kind of like their first fight and how they worked through it.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a good way. Yeah.
So, number 4, Joy has, is from season 4, episode 20, when Emma and Killian are sitting by the docks. Oh, I love this scene.
Yes.
Oh.
And Killian is convincing her to forgive her parents for what they did. It showed us how much he cares about Emma's other relationships in her life, and that it was not just about romance, but also about trying to make her family problems his own problem. No wonder that episode was written by Jane. She always gives us the best Captain Swan moments. Truth. Shout out to Jane.
Jada Spencer
Love
is
you,
my
Jane.
hero.
I forgive you for everything you did with Buffy and Spike.
I think that scene, like how Killian wants her to repair her relationship with her parents, is because he never had that chance. And he never had the relationships that she has. So I think he wants her to realize how important it is to make sure that she doesn't lose them.
Yeah.
And the fact that he cares so much just right in the feels.
And he's
Right.
not always one to push her, but in this instance, he is pushing her a little bit because, he knows like deep down she needs that extra push.
Yeah.
And it's just like it kind of shows how much we're at the stage now where we understand each other. I mean, it had from the beginning, but it's just growing, and I love it.
I love the fact that he knew deep down if she didn't forgive her parents that she would end up regretting it, and he knew, and he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows that she's needed that push.
Yeah.
That was also just such a beautifully shot scene.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sometimes don't get me wrong, Stevenston is one of the most beautiful places in the world, but they make it look even more beautiful on the show. Like, I don't even know how it's possible sometimes, but that was just a gorgeous shot.
Yeah, like looking out on that, I would find it calming,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So last but not least, season 5, episode 14, when Emma rescues Killian just in time, and Killian saying, "You're impossible," and Emma saying, "And you love me for it."
Yes.
Yep.
I love how she screams, Killian! Like, right when she sees him.
I feel like we had so many expectations and kind of headcanons for how all this was going to go down, and yet
Yes.
they just did it in the most, it was so true to their characters. Of course, they're going to make little jokes in such a horrible situation, it's so them.
Yeah.
So them. Loved it.
So cute.
Yeah. Also, on a personal level, I like that scene even more now because I accidentally say it, I said to Colin that you're impossible. So I'm all, whenever we watch that scene now, I just imagine me just saying it again to him. And
what was he doing that made you say that?
Because I had like a little box with like chewing gum and stuff and all that, and me and my friend Abby were asking him, "Oh, what's in your box, Colin?" And he goes, "Oh, wouldn't you like to know?" That kind of thing. I was like, "Oh, you're impossible." And then I realised what I'd said, and I was like,
"That's amazing."
Oh my god,
that's such a good moment.
I love it.
I was like, "Oh my god."
Remain calm.
Underrated Lindsay for a moment.
Yeah. Maybe we need to have an episode where we do underrated Colin moments.
Yeah. That's a true.
That might be a couple episodes.
Yeah.
5 hours long.
2 hours long.
Yeah.
I do have one more email, yes.
Okay.
This is from Brenna, who I know is a friend of JMO's.
Yes. She's Emma-Swoon on Tumblr.
So she says that most of her favorite CS moments are when they aren't on screen together, but you still see all the concern and love that they have for each other. I especially loved any of this that we got before the season 3 finale, before they more or less became official. It makes me absolutely squeal and makes reunions all the sweeter, especially the one in 5B. So yeah, let's talk about all those little Neverland moments before things were actually official.
Where do we
There were
start?
so many, like so many. I know one of the ones that always make me giggle is when he's kind of staring at her while she's like folding up the vines.
Yes.
And David's like, "Come help me get some more rope." And he's like, like, "Why?" And then Emma's like, "'Cause we need it or something." And then he's like, as the lady insists.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's just like staring at her the whole time. Love it.
And he bows to her like.
Yeah.
He's so handsome when he does that.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
I love her face in the Echo Cave when he's
Right?
confessing his secret, and she's like, "Oh, shit."
Oh my gosh! And can we talk about how it looks like she's about to say something to him?
Yes.
And it's like, what was she gonna say? We'll never know.
We'll never know because
The
what
Charmings had to go interrupt.
Yeah.
Again.
Yes. Interrupting parents.
And I feel like that had to have been intentional because Jen wouldn't just do that. You know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't just make that gesture unless that was intentional, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
True. Kind of like the gesture the face she made when in 5-7 when he was like, "Hold up, Swan, I'm not proposing," and she was just like, "I wouldn't have mattered
Uh-huh.
if
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's another good one.
Mm-hmm.
What else from Neverland?
When I Win Your Heart.
Yes.
Oh,
That's my favorite part.
that's what made me start shipping them.
That was on my top 10.
I loved the Dark Hollow when Hook gets thrown up by the shadow. Like, Neil gets thrown and then Hook gets thrown, and she's like, "Hook!" I was like,
Yeah,
yes.
that's his name,
Called
yeah.
out for him.
And it always makes me think of the episode when Rempel tells her that magic is not its emotion, it's who you're protecting and why are you doing this. And then she was able to light the candle, and I was like,
Yeah.
So true. Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Take that."
Or another one where he's like, "I quite fancy you from time to time when you're not yelling at me."
Yes.
Yes.
And her looks just like...
That is such a boyfriend statement if I've ever heard one.
Mm-hmm.
All she wants to do is yell at him again.
Yeah, it's literally all over her face.
Yeah.
He has the
But, like-
best one-liners in the Neverland arc.
He really does.
In the show, I think he has one of the best lines.
Yeah.
One line.
Have you guys seen the video of, it's called Neverland Sass? And
Yes.
it's basically just a compilation video of, and what's it like? The music is so funny in it, but it's basically just a compilation video of like all the sass lines that were done in the entire Neverland arc. A lot of them are from Regina, but it made me laugh so hard because
was
you
a
don't
great-
realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't realize it when you're watching the episodes, but then when you put them all together, you're just like, the sass was on point in the Neverland arc.
It really
like,
was.
so much.
That is actually one of my favourite arcs. I really did enjoy it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I would love to have some Neverland flashbacks, like even if it's just Hook and Pan again, like because we really
Me
did not.
too.
We
Me
have
too.
300 years of material just sitting there, and I'm just like, come on.
Also, we've had
And-
so many references to like the type of relationship that they might have had back in the day with like their deal that they had before, where Hook was kind of
Exactly.
working for him. And yeah, I definitely want to know more about that.
Right.
And his relationship with Tink. Like, there's
Yes.
just so much unsaid history there. It's like, let's go back and look at that. Like, it's so important to the Peter Pan storyline.
I have one question. Where was Tiger Lily in all of this?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Oh yes, okay, here we go. We're gonna bring Tiger Lily in, and then that'll give us
Yeah.
all the Neverland windows that we could possibly want.
Yes.
Done. Decided. There we go. I fixed it.
You're welcome.
Well, it's the season of untold stories.
Exactly.
Whoa.
JMO, do the thing.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. Neverland flashbacks, make it happen.
Neverland flashback. Okay.
Put it on the list.
I'll put it on the list.
It's not Captain Swan, but, you know, that's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just a
It's what you-
series of
it's-
one-shots. Yeah.
It's just what you need.
I love I will always and forever have a weakness for Captain Hook and Dark Hook and Evil Hook and
Yes.
I'm just such a fan of like, Peter Pan has always been one of my favorites.
Sam.
So I guess I just want more from that story that we've
And-
all come to know and love, you know?
Robbie Kay
And that world.
slayed that role.
Oh, yeah, he's so
Robbie
good.
Kay is amazing.
Yes,
Seriously.
he's awesome.
Bring
I
him
love
back.
Yeah.
He
I
was
love
a
him
little,
so much.
It was such a tease to have him in the underworld,
It
and
was
then
so
nothing was
disappointing.
done with him.
He's
I
like,
know,
oh, I have
yes.
plans, and like we saw nothing of these plans, and I was just like,
right.
But that episode aired like the day I met him. So like he came on, and it was like so surreal. Because I've just met you. It's so weird.
He's like one of my favorite villains, so yeah.
yeah. That would have been a perfect opportunity for him and Hook to have like a little conversation too.
Right?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Spot on.
Too busy with Hades and Zelina.
No, thank you.
I love the unanimous grumbles. It's the best.
Yeah.
Okay, JMO, go on to your Tumblr responses.
All right. So I got a response for underrated moments from Miss Fairy Tales and Time Travel, who
Woo.
I know Kim wrecked her art a couple weeks ago. And her name is also Jenna, which is yay!
Woohoo!
Jenna the third.
All the
represent-
Jennas.
All of them. She said, one of my favorite moments that isn't talked about a lot is the scene in 2-9 in the jail. And Killian says to Emma, this is a symbol. Something that was once magical, full of hope, possibility. Now look at it. Dried up, dead, and useless. Much like you. Like, he just met her and he had felt so strongly about her already and felt that she was magical and full of possibility and hope. Help me. I told this to Sarah and Rachel, and I was like, I never went
Yeah.
there with that scene, and now that's
Wow,
all
yeah.
I can think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went there. She went
She
deep.
did. She went deep.
It's such a great thought about that scene because it's changed my entire perspective on
Same.
it.
Yeah.
And now that scene means so much more to me than it ever did. So
Yes.
I thank you so much for saying
Yes.
that.
And
I'll
that's
have to
another
rewatch
thing.
that.
Yeah.
We have another one from Spartan Guard. Hi, Caitlin.
Caitlin.
She said, the little kiss from 4 or 5 is one of my favorites. It's just so cute and casual. And that's the Paperwork Ahoy scene, which is probably one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yes, underrated
In
scene.
season 4. I can't take that. It's so damn cute. And the fact that he was talking about taking Henry sailing, make sure he wears his life vest, okay? I was like, I'm so down with the
She was
domesticity.
so-
I can't.
Mom and Dad.
Beautiful
Mom
in
and
that
Dad.
scene. Like,
So
I-
mom and dad. So mom and dad.
Oh, I love it.
I just love when Killian walks in and looks so proud of himself. Like, look what I've done for you, Swan. And then Emma's loving it. She's lapping it up. She's like, bring it. She's like, that's cheeky smile. Just like,
Elsa's in the background, like, smirking.
she's like proud best friend. And then like, obviously, Will's like looking in jealousy and all that.
forever bitter about Will just fluttering off into nothing.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Hashtag Will Scarlet deserved better.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
Justice for Will Scarlet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bring back Will.
I did get one more response from Tumblr, from Hooked on Killian for Life 28. She said, some of my favorite Captain Swan moments that you did not get into the last podcast were when Emma and Killian were cuddling after they saved from freezing to death in the ice wall. I love that whole episode. I love seeing how worried Killian was for Emma when she was trapped in the ice wall. And she also brings up the scene where Killian gives him the ring, and she just loves that scene. I was like, we've talked about both.
Yeah.
They're both so good. I'd also screenshotted one from Facebook from Sarah Lindsay.
Yay, Sarah, hi. She's my friend. Hello.
Oh, okay. She said the pair of them together in the stables after they find out about Violet is hilarious.
Yes.
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 That's another mom and dad scene, which is perfect.
Yeah. Killian's
Killian's-
eyebrows.
Yeah, I was literally
There's,
Killian's eyebrows.
there's a girl. Is there indeed?
Is
I love it so much.
I like a scene before that as well, when she's like laying down on the bed and he's like,
Yes.
come on, love, let's sail away. I love that line.
And she's holding.
She's holding the hook.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the responses from all the social media, so now it's just a free-for-all and stuff we haven't talked about yet.
Gosh, I have so many. Many. Okay, I'm gonna throw one out there.
All right.
Neverland. He gives her the coconut. Come
Yes!
on. Come on. It is
I've
2
got-
seconds, but it is 2 seconds of awesomeness.
I got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
He's so he looks so proud in that one moment. Like,
I can.
So here you
buy
go,
the
baby.
life.
I can cut open a coconut with my hook. Here you go.
Look, I did
Yeah.
the thing for you, Emma. I did the thing.
Yeah. He just loves to use that hook with her, doesn't he? And she loves it, as we know. She loves it.
I
He
love that.
always looks so proud. Like when he's breaking off the lock in season 4 in the
I
ice
was
cream
just about
truck.
to say that.
He looks
And
so
he just looks
proud.
So proud. Oh my god.
Like even when
Pushing your hair away.
yeah, or like in season 3 when she's like, you just love any excuse to use that thing, don't you? He's like, yes. Like it's on his face, like.
Which is why I love when she was embracing her powers and they were sitting at Granny's and she was like, look at this. And she's like, and now it's hanging off one of the light fixtures.
Yes,
She's like,
Granny's to go. That's my favorite
Boom.
scene.
Boom.
Yes.
Boom. That's how Boom starts, isn't it?
Boom.
Boom.
Tagline, boom.
Hashtag boom.
Granny's to go. Boom.
Just keep saying boom until something happens.
Yeah.
Right?
It's amazing how many times I reference that in real life.
Yeah.
It's become a
Because
problem.
Colin tweets it as well,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
She does
just
it all the
say it.
time.
It's like the official hashtag of Captain Swan. Boom.
Boom.
There you go.
I like how all the times he tries to offer her rum in season 3, and she's like, seriously? Is that
Yes. Yes.
like a lost girl? When he asked her, who is she? I love that part.
It continues so long. I mean, it happens in season 4.
Yeah.
And then you get that amazing contrast moment where he offers her goat's milk.
Yes.
What's that?
And she's just like,
I'm allergic to rum. Of course you are.
Aw, she's like so heartbroken, isn't she? She's like,
Which brings me to another one that didn't make it on our list. Muscle memory.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Dude. That was sexual.
Yes, the way she just went around and grabbed the sword like she knew where she was doing.
Didn't
She's
Leanne
used-
tease that?
Yes. Yes, she did.
Yeah.
I remember her saying like 2 words, muscle memory.
Yes.
yeah, she
And
did.
we're like,
yeah.
what does she mean by that?
I love Leanne.
And then she did also tweet us about the bed scene, and we were like,
Yes.
That's
He
another
was
good
so
one.
excited and she just like topples him on the bed.
I mean, I would topple that man too, but
Shay.
Another of my favourites is in 316, when he's like, I know you're hurting, Swan. And he offers to help her with look after Henry and talk about Neil when he was a child. And she looks so like flustered, like, you do that, you know? Like, her eyes just like flutter and it's just like, those yearning looks again. They do.
There was a
so
lot of
much.
great moments in the second half of season 3.
Yeah.
Like, even though he says to Neil, I'm going to back off, but yet he's still there in the most supportive way.
Mm-hmm.
And he still understands her. Like, she still opens up to him.
Yeah. I remember that beautiful scene by the docks where she goes to him to ask him to watch Henry again. And it was just that beautifully shot scene. And he says to her, well, you don't have to use the lad as an excuse to come see me.
Which was exactly what she was doing too. Like,
Yeah, totally.
Well, that's the thing. Like, she'd go to him rather than going to her own parents. Like, I know,
exactly.
Henry said, like, oh, they're boring. But at the end of the day, it's still Emma's choice, isn't it? So, and she still chose.
And there's that great scene then when she talks about it with Regina, where Regina says, well, they've been spending a lot of time together. And she says, well, Hook's great with Henry.
Yes. And I like how supportive he was right that scene where he was saying her magic was part of her,
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that whole, like, arc was him, like, encouraging her, like, look, embrace who you are. This is who you are. Please accept yourself because you're amazing.
Can we also talk about the fact that he had basically admitted that he was not knocked out in season 2 and he saw Cora try to take her heart?
Yes, you're right. Yes. You're so right.
Yeah. We know what you're up to, Hook.
He's Emma's #1 fan.
He really is.
He's a fan of every part of her.
Yeah.
Boom.
That was important.
I'm gonna throw to something in season 3. 2 of them, because I actually rewatched the episode. It's in Snowdrifts, I think. Yeah, it's in Snowdrifts when they're talking with He Who Shall Not Be Named, and he's like, I know a captain who can help us out, and she just looks at him and he just makes that face. And he's like, me. That's one of my favorite underrated moments because he's just so like genuine and cheeky. You just think he's smarter than shit. He's like, me, duh.
Lindsay.
And then in the tavern too, it's the
Captain Wench.
What are you doing? Like that is my favorite Killian Jones moment of all time.
Well, we both know I'm his type. Like
we both know, like they just like because and they're so like genuine about it. Like she just says it with such conviction. Like, well, we both know I'm his type. Like she's so confident in even where they are, like in this part of season 3. That Lindsay, you good there? You got it.
I know. I'm laughing at Lindsay because she was like.
I'm sorry, I just loved your reenactment of it. I just loved your reenactment. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I broke Lindsay. I've broken Rachel today. I have broken Lindsay.
High five, Kim.
Woo! But like they're just so confident in who they are, where you look at it for the comedic value, but it's just said with such confidence, and they both don't disagree because it's very obvious that Emma is his person, and I'm here for that ship. I'm here for that.
I'm here for all the Captain Wench stuff. Like,
Yes, I love when she was changing into the Wench outfit. He's like, oh, that's much better.
Yeah. Well, and then when he leaves and he's like, that is not the same person I am today. And he's just genuinely concerned because he knows where he's been. And he's like, that's not the same person. And he just does that little, like, eye flick down to her breasts. And like, back up and like, walks out and just like, Killian Jones, off to take a cold shower. So, yeah. I mean, I know we're going to do the Captain Swan movie in depth, but that is probably one of my all-time favorite moments, and I feel like it's a little underrated. Even though everyone loves it, we all love it, but so we just kind of look over it, I feel like.
Yeah.
If I had to choose my other than the one that was on the top 10, my moment from the Captain Swan movie would probably be pick a partner who knows what he's doing.
Might be one of my favorite Killian Jones lines, I think.
Seeing them together, dressed up in their Leia and Charles outfits, still today are some of my favorite outfits of all time that they have ever worn. And just how nervous she was, and he's trying to calm her down, and you're like, how do you know how to do this? And I'm like, well, it's just a waltz. And she's like, there's only one rule, pick a partner who knows what he's doing. And he's just so suave about it. I'm just like, you little bastard.
Like, you totally know he snuck into so many balls back in the day.
Where are those flashbacks?
Right?
Yes.
Oh, Oh,
charming
dude.
all
More
the
pirate hook.
princesses and
Yeah, where did
Yeah, that's
Killian?
the thing.
I want to know where Killian Jones learned how to be a prince. Let's get those flashbacks.
yes.
Oh my god, yes.
Well, he
I
was
love
in the
that.
Navy, so maybe
Touche, they
Look,
might
yeah.
have had balls for the
they-
Navy.
They
Exactly.
will have done.
Yeah.
But that
Yeah.
I think that line delivery is kind of what made the scene. Like
Mm.
Yeah.
that with like the intensity of him looking at her in that scene. Like, my God.
Yeah. Also, like, when they go up and they're like meant to like address themselves, when Killian panics, it's like you're meant to be like this really like clever pirate who's always like breaking in and entering and stuff, and you can't even think on the spot. It's
Yeah.
like I think Emma's like throwing him off because obviously like she looks so beautiful, and I think he's quite flustered in that scene.
hmm
Yeah, totally.
One of my favorite from the Captain Swan movie was at the very, very end when they're stuck in the room with the magic stuff or whatever.
Yes, I know what you're gonna say.
Yes,
Yes.
and he prompts her to tell her what changed her mind and how she misses her parents so much and how she's never missed them more even though she's been with them for a few days, but like there's nothing there because they don't remember her and how she's been doing that to them the whole time. And like just his little smiles of encouragement as she was like telling him all this, and he glances down, he's like, "Look, Swan," and I was like, "Oh, feel."
He's so proud of her magic.
I know.
I love how supportive he is no matter what she's trying to do.
hmm
And it is that look as well, because he has so much belief in her. Like, he knows, he understands her. He knows that that's the kind of thing. And it's like, look, I told you, you need to believe in yourself. There you go. But it's not like smug about it. Like, it's not smug. He's not teasing her about it. He's just like, look, I told you. Be proud of yourself. Love.
You know what you just made me think of? Since you said, like, he believes in her so much, it's almost like Henry believes in magic so much. So, like, the wishing fountain and how they made that happen because he got everybody to believe. So, and every time Emma's doubting herself, Killian believes in her, and her magic ends up working. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Gonna need a moment now.
Right?
Just throw that out there.
Speaking of really emotional moments, I have two like super sad ones, but they mean so much to me.
Okay.
Hit me
Okay,
with it.
so the episode where it ends with Hook being outside of Granny's
Oh.
and he watches her through the spyglass. Oh my
Aw.
god.
And
Oh my god.
And then the parallel in season 5 when she's watching them.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Kills me. Also, like, the music, Mark Isham's music in that scene, I'm just like, damn you? Like, what are you doing right now? This is so sad.
Yeah, it's emotional about music. You add the music, I'm in floods of tears.
There is another moment from actually the second half of season 5. I think it was Labors of Love, when we first see Killian getting all we see him all bloody and beat up and everything, and he's down there with Meg, and he's talking about how he feels like Swan's gonna come and save him, and Meg's like, how do you know? And when you love someone, you just know.
Just know, yeah.
So, yeah.
And they reference that so many times in the Underworld arc, which I feel like was so important, of them being able to know what the other person is doing, even though they're separated. I think that
Exactly.
that is
And
like
he's like dead, and
It's like-
she still knew.
Can you scream true love even louder right now? Like, this is literally, you're describing true.
And just
This is the
like,
definition
yeah.
of true love.
When she was riding the boat with Mila,
Yes.
it's like, I feel him. Yeah.
yeah, you feel him.
Or when in Labors of Love, when she's trying to figure out how to get rid of Hades, and the book just automatically opens up to the page.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
She knows it's him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And like the best part is that
Also-
she never doubts that it could be anything other than him.
Exactly.
And her reminiscing about the dance.
Oh,
It's like they weren't
Touching
even
the
a they
page
weren't
and
even a
everything.
thing at that moment, but to her it was still so
So
important.
special.
And it's just like on the vegetation, just like, nope, I said for killing, I'll
Not
be
gonna
strong.
do it. Not gonna do it.
I said, you know.
oh,
No.
can't.
One of my favorite underrated moments in 5B was Love's Worth It. That scene.
Mm.
in the crypt.
Oh, I love that one too.
Yes, it's so beautiful.
Going back to season 3, 3:11 to be exact. There's not a day I will go by when I won't that will go by when I think of you.
Yes, that was on my top 10.
That was my top 10 too.
Good.
Good.
Just, because, that's that whole scene. Basically, any angst you've seen with Captain Swan's my favorite. Let's be real here.
But anytime we get something from Emma where she's starting to show her her feelings, I'm just like here for it. Please, thank you.
And the fact that she turned away and like wasn't gonna say goodbye to him, I think that is kind of like she can't say goodbye to him because she doesn't want to accept the fact that like because there was something there obviously at that point, and she just didn't want to. Because she's been so used to disappointment and being abandoned and like having to leave people behind. So I think it was almost like I don't want to say goodbye to him because I can't. Mm-hmm. And then
later on she said, I don't know how to say goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. She said that at the end of Firebird. She doesn't know how to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. There was that little funny moment in the middle of season 4A when they made that comment about blondes. And he's like, he's like, don't I know it? And then she gives him that look, and then he's like turning his eyes up. I was like, Jesus,
you're killing me, man.
I love the onion rings thing, the fries.
Yes.
That was awesome.
I was just testing.
French fries, onion rings.
I also like any scene where like the kissing and Charming looks away, like. That's still on point. It's always looking away. It can't watch it. I just love all those scenes. It's like season 6, just continue, please.
Or the kiss from season 4 where they're in the sorcerer's apprentice house, the sorcerer's house. Did we ever establish whose house that actually was?
It was the sorcerer's
house.
Sorcerer's.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But isn't the sorcerer Merlin?
Yes.
Merlin was never in Storybrooke, so was that really his house?
Who knows?
I feel like I'm opening up a can of worms.
It's once upon a time.
I thought about that already, Sarah.
Don't question it.
Anyways, when they're in the house and they are kissing and she says, "Easy, Tiger, we've got company," and Elsa's face was priceless.
Elsa is the third wheel.
Elsa is all of
the third wheels.
Yeah. She is like the supportive best friend, though, isn't she? Though, because like she's always like smiling. Like we were saying earlier about being a Pipwork Ahoy scene and stuff. She's always like giving like a supportive smile. She knows what's going on, but she's just there to support Emma. And I want her back.
Yes, I know. I'm like, I miss Elsa so much.
Oh, me too.
I like how she talked to
a true friendship.
She talked to Killian on the way to see the Snow Queen in the forest.
Yes.
She helped him explain, her Emma's feelings. So that was pretty cool.
We talked about the beginning of 4 or 5. We don't talk about what's in the middle. We talk about the end too. Which is, when he comes to see her at the station, and I want to learn more about your beginnings.
Yes, I love that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was because Emma's agrees to open up to him. It's like, and she has like a little bit each time, but this is the first time I think anyway. Emma's just saying, look, this is as open as it gets. Really, this is my beginnings. This is who I was. And that's really powerful because when I like start a relationship, I'm always quite reluctant to show a past, because like you don't think the past can sometimes be a very upsetting place, and to share that with someone, that's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Also, I think it was either 419 or 420 when Emma and Regina are leaving to go find Lily, and he was talking about how it's going to be easy to give into the darkness, but don't do it. And she's like, why didn't you? Well, why did you? I didn't have anything to live for. You have your parents, you have Henry. And then she just looks at him and says, you. And
Yes.
Damn straight you do. And then the reunion after that.
Oh, the reunion hug. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
It's on my phone case.
Those photos slayed me.
5 out of 5.
I also love, it's like, again, a 2-second and you blink moment in the season 4 finale after they're back from the alternate universe and they're all in Granny's. And they're talking about how, like, Charming, killed Killian or whatever. And she just rests her head on his shoulder for, like, 2 seconds.
Yes.
Like, arms around her. It's so cute.
This is amazing. This is so good.
Again, it's about looks. It's about knowing look be shared. Perfection.
They're so comfortable with each other now. In like a year ago, take it back to the year prior when everyone was in Granny's and he was outside with from everybody, and she went out to see him, and then cut to a year later and everyone is together. So great.
I'm gonna be the oddball and say I like all their goodbyes. So like for me, Swan Song when they say goodbye, I know it's heartbreaking.
Oh God!
I do love that. I just
What
think
is
it's brilliant.
wrong with you?
I know. I'm sorry.
No, I'm like the exact
Morbid.
same way. Like when I wasn't able to make it for the CS top 10 moments, but literally I started putting some together just to have them, and it was all like their goodbyes and like all the horrible sad scenes.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you.
It was so bad. I was like,
I'm a glutton for punishment. So
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
Also, in the season 3 finale, when they're killing Snow White, and she kind of just like curls into him for comfort, like, come on.
He like protects her and like just like.
He pulls her in. Yes.
I was like, I can't even be sad about Snow White getting killed right now because this is not what I'm
Like,
and then like, I was a wreck.
It was
And then
more
later
exciting
on-
to watch Emma's reaction than it was to like, because you're like, you're obviously not going to kill Snow, so it was kind of like,
Right, of course.
And then like later on, like when Killian's like wipes her tears away, I thought that was like really beautiful.
Oh.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh.
and he was telling her about his brother.
Yes. Yes.
And then that helps to realise.
Sad scenes. It's just
Yes, we do.
when everyone's crying, Gabby and I are there.
I know.
I do love the sad scenes as much as like I don't talk about them as much, but I do love them.
The sad scenes are good for development. Like,
I mean, that's why the
you-
elevator scene was at the top of my 10 top 10.
Woo!
Yes. I love
It
that.
was a toss up for me on my top 10 between the scene from Birth and the scene from Firebird. But I just thought the scene from Firebird had at the time had so much fun, so much more finality to it.
That was my
Right.
number one.
Uh-huh.
That was my number one Captain Swan moment.
It's just so good and so heartbreaking at the same time.
Because, like, they honestly think that they will never see each other again. And
Exactly.
it's so raw and so powerful, and the acting was so amazing.
And I was gonna say Jen and Colin are phenomenal at doing goodbyes.
I mean, I still think that's, like, their best scene to date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah. Beautifully acted.
Their chemistry as actors has come so far.
It really has, yeah.
The actual relationship in the show, so it's
Oh, yeah.
natural. It's just very natural for them.
It's a natural
You can tell that.
progression.
Yeah.
And I love how
Yeah.
slow the burn is for Captain Swan compared
Yes.
to other relationships on the show. Like, as much as I love Outlaw Queen, I feel like it was a bit rushed.
It
Yeah,
was.
it was.
Yeah, and, like, Captain Swan is so organic and it grows so slowly and, like, so beautifully. So that's why, like, people are like, oh, I want a wedding, I want a proposal. And I'm like, I'm still not ready for it because I just love the slow burn that
No.
I'm giving
Yeah.
us.
And
Definitely
that's
not
the
ready.
thing,
I think it's because, like, Adam and Eddie have had this plan for so long, and it really is something totally original for them. Like, I feel like it's their fairy tale baby, you know? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we get the chance to create this brand new fairy tale, and they've just spent so much time working on it, and I think that's why it's so amazing.
Petition to make Emma Swan an official Disney princess.
Yes.
My name is at the top of that list right there.
Yep.
Right.
She already is my favorite Disney princess.
Same.
Oh.
And the way I think of it is like they've put so much effort and screen time into it. It's like it is become one of the most popular ships. Like, well, I think with like Snow and maybe like Tide, it is the most popular ship. Like, it gets it's always in polls, like articles, because like the fandom, we've got all our bickering and all that, but for the general audience, it's beautiful to watch. And like even like the president of ABC's like saying, you know, when Hook came into the show, it got a lot better. And that's the same with like Captain Swan when the relationship developed. It made it a better show, I think. Personally.
I think because people can relate to it. Like, you know, you look at some of the classic fairy tales like Cinderella, which I know we all know and love, but at the same time, it's not really based in reality, you know. Like, she had a fairy godmother who gave her her happy ending. You know, this is a fairy tale story where it's based in reality, and they've had to earn their happy ending and fight for it.
It's organic.
And it's something we can all relate to. It's they're going through trials and tribulations that every other person who's going through a relationship has. So everyone can identify with it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Granted, it does
Spot
have
on.
to do with magic most of the time, but at least they're
Yeah,
doing it together.
Exactly.
But it still leaves enough open to interpretation that I think you can parallel stuff to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like, you could take out magic and easily put in something else, you know?
absolutely.
And like a lot of like TV relationships, they go so quickly. Whereas this is, as you say, it's been a slow burn. So it is entertaining to watch a relationship grow, and the time and effort put into it is just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
In other TV relationships, they add too much drama. They have like their triangles and everything, and this one it doesn't have that. So
I mean, it's been known from a very early on time that this is going to be an endgame couple. So
yeah,
Easily,
you know,
I like
we can enjoy the burn of it.
Like, if anything, their love triangle is with all the crises that they have to deal with.
Yeah. Spawn.
What's gonna happen now?
What's gonna ruin date night this week?
Where's Leroy?
Yeah, what I'm gonna say about like where's Leroy gone?
Can we talk about the Camelot Ball?
Yes!
Oh my god, I cannot believe we haven't brought up the Camelot Ball
One
yet.
of my
I
favorite
thought you were
moments.
going to, J-Mo.
Like,
Like,
no,
God.
mine was the Enchanted Forest Ball. I did not bring up the Camelot Ball
You're
yet.
supposed to do all the balls, JMO.
All of the balls.
That 2-second Camelot Ball clip with them dancing, I think, is one of the most beautiful things that we've seen in the show. Like,
Yes, I love her holding the hook. Oh,
And the costumes are so beautiful. Like Emma's dress is like my
Jen,
favorite.
Jen just looks so stunning.
My favorite thing is when she Instagrams her dresses. So I'm like, the cosplayer in me is like, bless you.
Yeah. Not that
I
anyone
love-
can ever recreate that dress because it is so detailed.
Challenge accepted.
oh.
How many dresses are you
time.
making right now, Lee?
You know what? 3.
Also, I love the parallel in that scene where she comes down the stairs and he says, "You look," and she goes, "I
Yes.
know."
I was
And it
so-
parallels back to the date episode.
And their
That
faces.
That's the first time we see him in the Camelot waistcoat jacket, and his hair is just falling over his eyes, and it's absolute perfection.
Sexy.
I also love that look that he was giving Charming when both Emma and Snow were coming down. Like,
yeah.
those are our ladies.
These are our
Yes.
women. Hey.
Getting those looks, guys.
That waistcoat, though.
That whole all the Camelot outfits were so beautiful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even though all his outfits are pretty much exactly the same in different material, they're still so beautiful. Like, the Camelot, I think, is probably my favorite.
Oh, Camelot is just absolutely stunning. That jacket with that diamond pattern is absolutely phenomenal.
The red vest of sex will always be my favorite.
Yes.
Ooh, good one.
But see,
I like Prince Charles.
the Camelot one gets me.
Was
'cause it's-
also a red vest.
It's the red vest of sex, but it is in red leather. So you're just kind of like, it's just a double
Upgrade.
whammy. A double whammy.
You guys,
Can't
okay,
take
I'm
it.
doing a little bit of self promotion here. If you guys haven't read my wedding fic, I do a little something special with the red vest of sex, but I'm not going to say.
Ooh.
I have so many.
Yeah, reading.
Yep.
I haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm excited
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
I think one of the scenes where both of those Camelot outfits look so stunning is there was the episode where she heals his cut from Excalibur. And the cinematography and the lighting in that episode is so gorgeous. And so, like, she puts her hand up to his neck and, like, it kind of glows from the magic. And, like, they put their foreheads together and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm dying. I'm absolutely
That's
dying.
the thing, like
The
she's
forehead touch is like the CS makeout.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's their own version.
she's supposed to be like this dark one, but there's still this goodness in her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so beautiful. And yeah, I'd say, like, again, with that and also the meadow kiss, like, all of it just looks beautiful. I loved,
Cinematography in that arc was beautiful.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, Camelot, I have mixed feelings about because of the ending of it, but
Yes.
if we cut that bit off, yeah, brilliant. Loved it.
Lindsay, just blacklist those few episodes towards the end.
Tumblr savior kind of thing.
Okay, are we going to talk about the beginning of season 5 when they find her and she's about to crush Merida's heart? And
yes,
Regina was going to take the dagger and make her do.
It was Snow.
She's like, no, it's no. And she said, no, it needs to be her decision. He is always behind her 100% for her to make her own decision, not to force anybody.
yes.
There are 2 kisses we haven't mentioned, and they both come in the same episode. Both times they tried the true love kiss in 5-2.
Ooh.
The very first one we get when they
Super
go to
hot.
the Dark One's house. That
Super
kiss
hot.
was hot as hell.
Yeah,
Even though it
was.
didn't work. Even though it didn't work.
But it's so,
and then-
and you know what
I
though?
remember.
You get that you're so like, God, that was hot, but then a
then
second
she's-
afterwards, you're just heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you feel it from Killian, like that he's so hurt over the fact that it didn't work.
And then when Emma's like, this is me now, there's nothing to change, why can't anyone accept it? I was just like, oh.
It was so hard to watch.
Yeah, it was hard because we didn't know that. Sorry, Lindsay, but we didn't know that he was a Dark One, so we were all like, as fans,
Exactly.
Oh, I
this
never
is
even
true love.
thought of that. Oh my god.
Girl.
I haven't watched Vibe.
There was
No, I
also
don't.
like Emma had a moment where she was like, she was genuine, like obviously she's let this Dark One come up part of her, but she's also that vulnerability. She was like, she wanted to tell him, but obviously how do you tell someone like, oh yeah, I made you a Dark One, the one thing you hate the most?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that, like, I mean, you can't really tell someone that, can you really?
No.
And then when she saved Robin from dying, and then she just goes straight to Killian to give him a
She
kiss.
jumps
and
on him.
It was such in desperation. It's like, I need this to work. I need this to be out of me. This darkness. It was also really painful to watch.
Yeah.
Speaking of her,
Because then you see Rumple, and it's like, you're saying you didn't like the magic, and then her hand just starts getting all, shiny and glittery, and it's like, no, don't do
That was
it.
the only time we ever seen her with that stuff on it, though.
Mhm.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. Which brings to mind one of the little quips that they had at the beginning of 5-1. It's like, well, you don't look like a crocodile. Guess I
I was
lucked
going to
out.
say that,
Yes.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Yes.
But another thing that just really killed me, speaking of saving Robin Hood, was when Killian was dying, and they were like, "Oh, Emma, let him go. Don't worry, you'll be okay." And it's just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Look how far you pushed me to save Robin." I'm like, and the fact that David and Snow weren't behind her on that just killed me.
That pissed me off.
Oh, I was
really-
just like,
They share a flipping heart because of all this, you know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
like,
I'm glad they addressed that
how do
in
you
Swan
not
Song.
understand that?
It's so true that, like, there's so many expectations on Emma being the savior to bring back happy endings to everyone else, but yet when she tries to get her own happy ending, it's like, oh no, that's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
don't deserve a
you
happy
shouldn't
ending.
do that. You shouldn't you shouldn't make him a Dark One to
Yeah.
save him. It's
That's
like,
not morally.
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
and I think they'll address that this season. Obviously, we saw the Aladdin clip about the
Yeah, I
savior,
hope so. I really hope so.
we will go to save mythology. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I think that should be addressed, really.
I agree. I agree.
I hate to bring it up, but the scene on the boat in 5-3,
Ooh.
it was
yes.
it was brutal. It was
It
brutal,
was.
but she needed that reality check that he didn't want to be with her if he was going to be like this, but it was still beautifully done.
It was still,
But-
yeah.
and to see her in the first date dress was
It hurt.
And one of my favorite scenes is the parallel to that, where he then turns around later and says, "I love you, Emma Swan, no matter what you've done. Like I was
Yeah.
wrong.
Birth.
I was
Yeah,
wrong
in
before."
Birth.
yes.
Yes.
God, that was such
Birth again, yeah.
such a strong scene. I love that so much.
But I like the beginning scene in Birth when they were in the woods fighting. That was so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everything in that
Oh,
episode.
yes.
God, they brought
That's
their
why-
A game in that
I
episode.
can't
That's
wait.
That's my
to
favorite
episode
episode.
They
about
rocked the shit out of that one.
I can't wait to talk about that whole thing.
Me
My
neither.
favorite
It's gonna be
episode.
I did have one more on my list from season 3, and it was 312 when Walsh knocks on the door, and
Oh.
his face, and he's like, "Who's that?" And she's just like, "Walsh." And he's like, "What are you gonna say to him?" And she's like, "I care too much to drag him into it." And then he can't look at her anymore. and he just goes straight to the room, and it hurts so bad because at that point he had just given up the Jolly Roger for her, and here she is having spent 8 months with another guy, but he knows he doesn't have a right to really say anything or make her feel bad about it because
he hasn't really made that claim yet.
Exactly. And like just how heartbroken he was, and how even she kind of had that like, oh, like this is awkward, like I feel kind of bad look on her, like, oh, that just kills me, like his face in that whole scene.
You love the Yanks, don't you? I mean,
Yes.
I love it, Rachel. Me and you.
Yes.
I was gonna say the whole your heart's, you know, the woods with the heartbroken means it still works.
Yes.
That scene. Yes.
I love that one too. I love how close they get. You know, and like there's no sense of personal space between the two of them. Like they don't. It doesn't even matter to them.
Does not exist.
My favorite. This is my absolute favorite underrated moment. It's actually number 2 on my top 10 list behind the elevator scene. It's like 3 seconds long, and there's no dialogue, but it is my favorite thing ever. And I just remember like screenshotting it when I was watching it and being like, I can't even handle this right now. It's the scene where Snowing, they're talking to each other about Emma lowering her walls and finally being able to open up her heart.
Oh, okay.
And it's Emma and Killian walking down the street with her arm in his, and she rests her head on his shoulder.
Yes.
She was talking to Regina.
This is like the perfect, like this is what I've been waiting so many years for. Like this is the perfect moment of them just walking down the streets of Storybrooke, nothing's going on,
being
it's
happy.
just being happy, and it is just my favorite thing ever. It's like my favorite GIF, my favorite just everything.
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
I mean, I love this ship so much. It's just perfect.
To snowball on this.
Oh, like talking about these moments is just making me so happy.
Right?
It really is.
Right,
I'm
like-
so happy tonight.
Yeah, like I can't stop smiling whenever you guys bring him up. Like it's like, oh.
What about the moment in the 4 finale after, unfortunately, David kills Killian, and she's talking to Regina, saying,
Yes.
I just watched the man I love die, and I never had a chance to tell him.
That would have been on my
cried
list.
so hard.
That would have been on my top 10 list.
So did I.
I wanted to put it on
I
there
was
so
like,
badly.
He actually said it, but he wasn't able to hear it.
I know.
But then she said it later at the
She was
most inopportune time.
That was like one of the most horrible moments, and like when they get back to the real world and she bursts into the apartment and he's not there, and then he's up at the stairwell, like my heart literally stopped for like 2 seconds. I'm like, they wouldn't do this. Like, oh, that's horrible.
My experience watching that episode was completely insane. Like, I got so drunk.
I remember the story.
So drunk. And halfway through the episode, like, before we even got to, like, Emma and Killian being actually on the episode, like, I was in my bathroom puking my brains out. So, like, my head is in the toilet, and I'm like, I can hear them talking in the other room, like, on the TV, and I'm screaming at my friend. I'm like, I can hear them talking. What's happening? And I'm like, as I'm like vomiting in the toilet.
Oh my god.
So I pass out on the floor of my bathroom, and like I wake up the next morning, and I'm like, what happened to Captain Swan? What happened last night? And so then like I rewatched the episode, and obviously like I was able to enjoy the whole thing, but yeah, I missed the whole arc.
That actually happened to me where I had to use the restroom like right during that scene. I think towards the end of 4A when he's walking into Granny's and he's talking with her, but it's actually Rumpel speaking through him.
Oh.
So I did not see that until later, and I was like, "What happened?"
Sorry, that's what happened to me. I was with Firebird actually with Chulo's Kiss. I wasn't drinking or anything, but I was streaming it because I was in Barcelona, and I was talking to Jenna on Facebook, and I'm like, "What happened? Please tell me what happened. I missed it," because the streaming went out exactly at that moment. And I was like, so pissed.
Awful.
Yeah, my drunk story is the first episode I actually saw Killian in the crocodile, I think. Yeah, it was the crocodile.
Yeah,
and he was first introduced. I had a house party that night, so everyone went home at about 2 a.m. and that's when in the UK you can start like downloading it. So drunk me thinking, watch the episode, and I watched it and I don't remember it because I was pissed. And like a week later, I met up with a friend and he was like, I got this weird text from you last week, and
Oh, no.
I asked, what's it? It goes, Hook and I are in love. So it was like, okay, I don't know.
That's the best. I think the best reaction was when I was with Sarah, actually.
Oh no.
In Epcot. We went to Epcot all day. And we drank around the world. Actually, I just drank like
Oh, that sounds like fun.
drank halfway around the world. We
We didn't make it all the way.
stopped.
I feel like shit falls apart at Morocco. Somebody back up.
We started in Mexico and only made it to England.
Oh, man.
So we only missed Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, my people. Why would you miss them?
Because you have crappy bacon, Kim. We've been over this. But anywho, Sarah Lindsay's dying on her visit.
It's so funny to guys tonight. It's so funny.
We were watching the mid-season finale Swan Song together with our Once Upon a Time cosplay group, and we were the only Captain Swan people there, and it was just a giant sob fest. And it was so painful, and we were holding hands and drinking cider and bawling our eyes out together. And then they're like, oh, let's go watch the fireworks, where we continued to sob outside. And then I had like a 2-hour drive home where I was just listening to sad music, like, and crying.
I know, like, I went back to my mom's house that night and just continued to just sob all night long. And, like, the next day I'm like, well, I have to go to Disney World, but, like, I don't want to. Like, I just want to stay inside and cry. Like
Literally,
I cannot get myself out of bed to, like, go to Disney World, you know? Like, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. I couldn't listen to, like, any, like, poppy, happy music to keep me up. It was, like, all this sad, angsty songs that people use for, like, YouTube videos. Oh, you hurt.
You know you would have
Rachel.
Karaoke right here.
It's a very him.
That's a good song,
Little
be
known
sad
fact, the night Swan Song aired, I made a tweet about how this totally correlated to Buffy killing Angel at the season 2 finale.
Oh.
And so I tweeted about it because, like, honestly, up until that episode, the moment where Buffy killed Angel had been, like, the worst thing I've ever watched in my entire life. So then when it happened again with Captain Swan, I, like, tweeted about it, of course. So MTV decided they were going to take my tweet and put it in an article describing the 5 stages of Captain Swan grief.
That's amazing.
Oh my god!
And I think mine was in, like, stage 3 of, like, anger or something.
Oh, that's so great.
And the only reason I found out about it is because I saw the article and I just was like, oh, this sounds interesting. I'm going to click on it. And then I saw my tweet and I was like, oh my god.
You know, I think I actually read the article too.
Yeah, I think
Did
I read
not
it.
just do this to me.
I need you to link that this week. I need a link.
That needs
Alright.
to be in the
Yeah, put it in the YouTube comments.
We'll put it in the comments. Yeah.
Yes,
Humiliating.
Oh, it's amazing.
that's so brilliant.
Do we have any more moments to talk about, or did we hit them all?
I think we hit them all.
I think I finished my list.
I finished
I finished my list, yeah.
Oh, the only one I didn't talk about was that was on my list was when they first met in the alternate universe. And it's like, no matter how many times they have a first meeting, they still have that connection.
Yes.
It's true. How
Just the
many
way they-
first meetings have they had? 4?
Like,
Yeah.
I think 4. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a gift set of them.
There is.
And they still end up finding each other.
Mhm.
You're welcome.
And
I
there's,
love the
like,
lighting in that one.
And there's like a
Oh, me
beautiful
too.
soulmate quote with it too, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
But it's like, they run into each other and, like, they're both, like, fuckstruck.
Yes.
Fuckstruck, yes.
Love it.
That's the best word for the look that they give each other.
Mhm.
That is,
Fuckstruck, yeah.
that's the definition.
Hashtag fuckstruck.
Thanks, Lindsay. That's yours.
That is the definition. You look it up in the book, and there is their picture.
Bam.
So that's it for my list.
Yeah, I pretty.
Anyone else have anything else they didn't get to talk about?
Nope.
No?
We hit like everything.
So many.
Basically, we've recapped the entire show.
Thanks for watching. This is Once Upon a Time. See you later.
Most important parts.
Once Upon a Captain Swan in an episode right there.
Boom.
So do we want to do fic and art recommendations?
Yes.
Please.
All right,
I
who's
need
gonna
more.
go first?
I have one of each, if y'all don't mind.
Woo!
I do
no,
mind
okay.
Kim. I'm very offended.
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry.
Way to be an
I'm gonna do it
overachiever,
anyway.
Kim.
God. Way to make the rest of us look bad.
So I feel like it's just me making up for all of the weeks where I didn't have anything.
Yeah, get it
so,
True. Okay, true.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
just catching up. Is all.
Excuses.
And so one of them is art, and it's by the Foxy Stop Sign on Tumblr, and it is Emma teaching Hook how to sword fight in alternate universe, and it's really cute, and I really like it. And then the other one I'm going to recommend is a fic by Caitlin, and who is Spartan Guard. And it is her.
Go Caitlin. Go Caitlin. Sorry.
Yeah. It is her WGI, Once Upon a Time, Captain Swan. It was amazing. I'm not a color guard person. I am a drumline person.
I am.
Yeah, you are. So for me, Jenna and I then started talking about all of the things we would do with people, and wow, that sounded really better.
Wow. Tell us more, Kim.
Wow. Anyways, as Kim blushes furiously, and she's glad that no
Once
one
upon a
can see her
Captain
face.
Swan after dark.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, remember, we want a Colin in the streets and a Killian in the sheets.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Throwback.
So, anyways, yeah, Caitlin's, it's called Spinning Together, and it is on fanfiction.net. I think it's on AO3, right, JMO?
I believe so, but yes.
Most things are on AO3, yeah.
Yeah. As someone who also did color guard, and the fact that she did a drum corps fic, it just gave me all the feels. For those who don't know, who are listening, drum corps is basically marching band without the wood instruments. So it's all percussion, brass
to the percussionist
and color guard. And it's
Yeah,
absolutely
we don't need those
incredible.
reed suckers. We don't need those
No.
reed
right?
Anyway, Caitlin does a fantastic guard fic, and it's amazing, and I'm all about that, and everybody should read it, even if you don't really know color guard and drum corps and DCI stuff. It's fantastic, and it will give you a look into our inner workings of who we are and why we do what we do. So, yes, that's
Side
it.
note, I may or may not have a high school marching band AU fic in the works. So
Ooh. Spoiler alert!
yeah.
Yes. So Kim's done.
Speaking
All
to
right.
my soul.
So this week I have an actual fan art one. I recommend Rolly Georgia Jones on Tumblr. She's someone who just keeps getting better and better. Her latest artwork is of Jen and Colin at San Diego Comic Con, and I mean it's my favourite yet, because she's one of these who she's not been doing it for very long, but every time she posts something new, it is an improvement. And as JMO said earlier, encourage these up and coming artists, because our fandom is constantly growing, and we should support, because we've got so much talent. And she's 17 years old, and she just gets better and better. I didn't meet her, but I was aware of her. She went to the same convention, so I've followed her since then. And just watching someone grow, on a Twitter, she actually posted a work in progress of her current drawing. It was really interesting, because sometimes you just see the complete work and you think, yeah, that's pretty good, whatever. But just see in progress of the effort and the hours it takes for them to go and get this perfect accent. She's using she's just using pen and paper kind of thing, pencil and paper, whatever, to get this, and it is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'm speechless, because the hard work this fandom just leaves me speechless. Because as JMO said, just support these up and coming writers, artists, whatever, manip people, just support them, because give them a few months something, and they're gonna grow, because people will continue to grow if you give them the love and support they deserve, because they've got the talent. They just need the encouragement and support.
I agree.
Also, a lot of these people are young, and your comments, positive comments to them, might persuade them enough to be able to say, oh, maybe I can pursue this as a career, and it might give them that boost in confidence and that motivation, and that can mean the world to someone. So please, yes, respond to fics and give comments and reblog things and just let these people know how much everything means to you, because it can really just change someone's course in life.
You never know what someone's going through, and just to see that little blog, it probably makes their day.
Yeah.
I retweeted something the other day, like, you never actually truly know what someone's going through. You should always be kind to someone, because you don't know what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Anyway, continue.
Who else has got one?
Friendship Day!
Yes. Does anyone else watch Outlander by chance?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't have stars, so I'm in the minority.
I don't like it. I'm sorry.
I know you don't, Sarah. I don't have stars either, but I go to my grandma's and I watch it. She has stars.
Do you watch it with your grandmother?
I do. My grandma's really cool. Like,
I watched it with my mother.
I used to watch with my mom too.
I used to watch True Blood with my grandmother, so let's.
I used to watch True Blood with my
Me
mother,
too.
so I hear you.
Yeah.
My mum and my dad. My dad did not like True Blood. Let's put it that way. He did not like True Blood.
So anyway, this week I am recommending a fan video where someone took Hook and Emma and Jamie and Claire and mashed together the season finale of Outlander and Firebird.
Oh my god, I didn't see it.
Captain Swan.
Oh my god.
And
Keep the thanks train going.
yeah.
Hey, seriously, love.
Rachel, I need that link. I need that link.
I will link you. I don't want to spoil anything for people who may not be caught up with Outlander, but it is by the Raleigh Dodger on YouTube. And it's called Hook and Emma / Jamie and Claire. He survived. And I mean, the first time I watched this, my friend sent it to me and I was sobbing. So yeah, y'all need to watch it if you're a fan of both shows.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll cry my eyes out, but
I'll link you guys right now. So
thank you, please. Well, I'm doing a fan video as well. It's called Those Three Little Words by, sorry if I'm gonna butcher this, but it's XX Mitika Sana XX. The link will be in the whatever.
Yes.
But it's from episodes 205 to 523. It's really beautiful put together. I love this person because it's just all her videos are just brilliant. So
I'll watch it. I love fan videos.
fan videos are my weakness, especially when they make me sob like a baby.
I have a fic rec and then a shout out to a special gift that was done. First of all, my fic is by bisexual Killian Jones.
Yes.
Yes, I see the light now that I see you. There's still one chapter left and then an epilogue. But if you have not read this fic, go look it up on fanfiction.net and read it now. The idea behind
Sorry,
it.
I'm watching Lindsay.
I know, Lindsay.
The idea behind
Lindsay's
it.
eating her hands.
I'm so excited. I love this fic. I'm sorry.
The
I
idea
love Jamie right now.
is so phenomenal. Basically, Emma has adoptive parents. She is a singer at a lounge club. And she's just trying to make her ends meet and everything. She's gotten over that horrible relationship with Neil. On the other side, we have Killian, who is actually the star of a television show called Never Landing. He plays a boxer named James Hook. So he's an up-and-coming actor. In this particular universe, everything you see is in black and white. When you find your soulmate, then you see color.
Oh my gosh.
So throughout her relationship with Neil, no color at all. They run into each other on the street, Killian and Emma, by a chance meeting. All of a sudden, they both see color. The whole fic is basically them navigating the fact that now they know their true love and them trying to establish a relationship. Killian is all for wanting to be with her, but Emma's still reluctant, and it's just absolutely so well done. I'm also going to shout out to my baby girl, Bianca. aka Ships Ahoy on Tumblr.
Yay,
She
Bianca!
told me she was going to do this, and I didn't. And obviously, when she tells me she's going to do something, she's going to do it. She made a gift set for us based on our top 10 from last week, and it is absolutely beautiful.
It's
Thank
so
you,
beautiful.
Bianca.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you for
We
your
love
talent.
you.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for being such a good friend. Thank you for being the Mulan to my Ruby. I love you. I got emotional looking at it. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I was saying last week. I mean, we've only done 5 episodes, but already the fandom has come together and supported us. It is. I do get emotional about it because it's just brilliant.
I do
such
too.
a
Like,
amazing positive response that we've gotten from everybody. Like,
Yeah.
I came on in the second episode because Sarah's like, "Oh yeah, we're doing a Captain Swan podcast," and I'm like, "Can I please be a part of this?" and like, and I'm so happy to be a part of it and to know everybody. And like the responses that we've gotten are just amazing, and like each and every one is just. Thank
It
you
makes
guys.
our day when we get anything from you guys.
It really
Anything.
does. Like,
We
I
say it
have
every week,
all
but still.
my stuff set on alert on my phone, so I get
Same
everything
here.
immediately.
Absolutely.
yeah, we cannot thank you guys enough. Like, every time we get a new follower on any of our social media, I'm just like, wow, like, this person is taking the time to listen to what we have to say. It means so much.
That's
So,
why we do it, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
just
it's
wanna
why we
spread
do it.
some more love out in the world. So we
Yeah,
can
'cause,
do
like,
that.
yeah, if we can spread any type of positivity in a fandom where we know there's problems,
Mhm.
you know, if we can just do anything to just help spread positivity, I think that's great. And we're
I
going to do
think
whatever we can.
That's our key theme is positivity. Like,
It is.
the whole like fandom as a whole can get so negative sometimes, and I think this is a safe and positive space. You can listen to your favourite ship.
Mhm.
We love Captain Swan, and that is how it's going to stay. Sarah?
Did you have a wreck?
Me? I have a rec.
Oh, you do.
And
Wreck
it's
away.
from our very own JMO.
Oh.
Last week we were talking about the date scene, and we were talking about how we felt like we kind of missed out on some parts of the date scene, like that moment where Killian gave Emma his jacket. Like, how did that come about? And I was like, boy, I really want to see this scene. So JMO did the thing, and she wrote it, and it's just a one-shot, but it's called Always a Gentleman, and you can find it on fanfiction.net. Her username is Captain Swan is my endgame.
Yes.
And it's just precious. It's everything that I wanted.
It's adorable. I love it.
For me personally, it's now canon. So go read it. Link will be in the description.
Thanks, babe.
I love you.
Mm.
I have a general shout out from like our Facebook group. Crystal.
Yes, I was gonna say Crystal.
Crystal!
Yes.
Crystal, we love you.
Yes.
She has been so supportive on the Facebook group this week. She's been getting involved in posts. Like, I will just read out some of the things she said this week because, again, positivity and all that. So she listened to last week's episode and she said this. Hi, ladies. So again, I had to stop to tell you my thoughts. Yes, I will episode on Captain Charming.
Yes.
Woo! 2 for Captain Charming.
Yes.
I love a date so much as well, but to be honest, my favourite parts of the date was picking up and when picking up and when Emma gets inside the loft afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because I'm a mum and my kids are dating, I very much identify with Snow in this situation. She was almost as excited as Emma and was positively dancing when she answered the door. And when Emma got home, oh my goodness, her reaction charmed me too. They just do it for me. And she's putting a more. Am I the only one who thought of Danny and Sandy from Greece
Yes.
when Emma opened the door?
Oh, yeah.
For real.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Greece. I love Greece.
She's been so supportive of us this week. So keep it coming, Crystal, because we'd love to hear from you.
Final thoughts? Are we good to wrap this up?
What are we
Man,
doing
that
next-
was fun.
What are we doing next week?
So next week, I think we're going to do good form flashback.
Yes.
I think it's time for another throwback.
Okay.
There might be wine, there might be tequila, there might be rum. I don't know.
Jack Daniels.
I don't know what there could be.
Definitely
Sorry.
why.
I have strong
Definitely
feelings.
So let's call it. Next week we're going to watch Good Form.
Good form.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And break.
So as always, hit us up on social media. You know the drill. We're OUACS Podcast pretty much on all social media. So find us on there. Check out our website. You can find links to all of our own personal social media. And you can find all of our recommendations for all the fics and art that we talk about every week. Check everything out on there. Send us your comments, thoughts, everything. We will read it all. And you will get shout-outs on the show. So, thank you for listening, and tune in next week. We're going to talk about Good Form.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.